What is going on, everybody? It is your boy, me. Let's fucking party. It's a beautiful day here in May. I got my ring light on my face. I got a new setup in the living room slash office area. Thanks for checking it out. You know what I mean? I'm sure you noticed that Captain America poster. Oh, that one right there is new. Um, Anyways, thanks for watching these. Don't forget to subscribe when we're done. I got the headset on. You see the ticker at the bottom. You know what that means. It's time for another guest episode of Joel Cupcake, unedited. Today, I'm really excited. We got my first lady guest, or female guest, or woman of music, whatever pronoun, denomination, adjective, title you want to use. Somebody I've been friends with for a couple of years. We may have done a little bit of business together too. Um, I am really pumped to have Kalie from Rivals here. Kalie, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I am great. I just before we started this call, you walked in on me on the camera eating some pizza, so
Nothing like a little bit of
you know
food porn.
I can't complain. I had a Truly in the shower before I called you. So,
Oh, damn, that sounds good.
girl, they got these new ones. They come in black cans. They're
What
lemonades.
flavor is it?
It's a whole.
What?
It's a variety box. It's all lemonade. It's one is just regular lemonade. One is mango. One is black cherry, and the other is strawberry lemonade.
I was gonna say there's got to be a strawberry in there. That's like
Yeah,
a
and but
staple.
it's like like there a bunch of the companies have like a berry pack or a straw or like a
Yeah,
tropical
yeah,
pack. But this I
yeah.
was like, ooh, an all lemonade pack.
Hmm.
And I'm like, anybody that watches this or follows me on the internet or knows me like you, I'm a White Claw guy. We all know
Yeah, yeah.
it's my jazz, it's my jazz. You know what I mean? So like, boom, truly
The, the
the lemonade,
rise of
the lemonade ones. What's up?
the
Uh,
rise of White Claw has been quite an adventure. Just watching them become
yeah,
such a big company so quickly.
I mean the claw is the law. You know what I mean?
It's
Like,
true. Yeah.
and I mean I
It's
think
good
that's
marketing.
the first time. Like, I don't know much about the booze industry, obviously, other than consuming it.
Yeah.
Um, but like, I know that for a while, like the liquor store down the corner from our apartment, like where I get all my booze from, literally they were like, we can't get it. Like, they literally don't have enough. Like, between Trevor Wallace
What?
and just kind of like everybody, like last year when it like blew up. You know what I mean? Like, I
Oh
think
yeah, yeah.
in like
I
the
remember we were
memes.
on tour.
Yes, exactly. Like the memes, the funny videos, like all that stuff, it just like became this
Yeah.
thing and everybody wanted to try it. And I live in a
Mhm.
there's three colleges in the town we live in. You know what I mean?
Oh
So
god.
yeah, so I think that was they were like, I would go in and be like, "Do you need more alcohol?" And they were like, "No." Like they were like, "We'll DM you on Instagram when we get some in." And I was like, "Yes."
Oh
But yeah,
my god.
I don't know. I wish people could market their bands like that. That'd be fucking sick.
Dude, they killed it. They killed it on the like I don't even know if it was like a market they did it or if it just sometimes it just happens and then
Yeah.
they just go with it and they're like, "Cool, we're just rolling with this."
Well, I think it was like people were trolling and were like, "Oh,
Yeah.
this is the new Four Loco." Like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
White Claw, White Claw, White Claw, White Claw," and it was like
Yeah.
people were like, "Oh no, this shit's like wild." You know what I mean? And
It's
then
like good though. It's
yeah,
like
it's like good. It's low calories, which for a big boy like
yeah.
myself is perfect. You know what I mean? And like then they
Mhm.
put those new flavors out. That watermelon, fuck me up, dude. Like,
Oh yeah, I actually when we had dealers stay here when they got stranded in the US when this whole
oh
debacle started.
yeah,
We literally like like every night there was White Claw. So it was like like I had finally got to try the watermelon one and I was like, dang, like these
yeah,
things are fucking fire.
fire. Well,
Fire. I
well.
love
Anyways,
watermelon.
anyways, it's fucking apparently booze hour on my show. Uh, let's get down to business. Kaylee, as I
Okay.
explained to you a little bit when I asked you to do this, like my whole show, it's all unedited. Like I have
Mhm.
nothing to do with fucking sponsors. I have nothing to do. I try not to plug either of my companies other than like talking about my background and why people should maybe listen to me or like
Mhm.
I would appreciate if they listen to what I have to say. And
Yeah.
so it's like, here's the deal. They've seen it on the ticker. It was on the promo that they probably led them to get here. You
Mhm.
sing in a band called Rivals. Um, Obviously you're like a well, I know the new music is going in a new direction, which I'm excited for the rest of the world to hear. um but yeah, you've been like an alternative rock pop band, but all of you are like metalcore kids playing pop music. Still, you have like a great live show. You know what I mean? You have lots of energy. You're a great front woman. You
Thank
get the
you.
crowd very involved. You know, you've done some things with like the drums and all the light shows that you guys do. You make it very interesting. And I
Mhm.
mean, regardless of the fact that we have worked together on a business level, like I've seen you captivate crowds of like predominantly metalcore people, predominantly like even like radio rock people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember when I drove out to wherever the fuck that was in the middle of buttfuck nowhere and watched you play with Red Jumpsuit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where was that?
uh,
Fresno?
somewhere south of Fresno,
Yeah, I remember that.
which like between Fresno and Bakersfield, I didn't know there was
Yeah.
anything, and that's where we were.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah. Anyways, we are not here to fucking talk about that. I don't fucking care about rivals. I want to know about you. What? That's right. That's right. Give it to me. Um, what's your story? Like I know personally, yeah, I know you pretty well. Like I know you have some stuff, but like how did you get into music? How did you determine you wanted to be like a chick in a band? Obviously, like I would assume you knew that would be a little bit of a struggle. Maybe you didn't know at first and then,
I didn't
obviously
I I didn't think of it like that. Honestly,
okay.
I wasn't even trying to be in a band.
Damn, my ring light just died. That was hella awkward, like live on camera. I'm like half blue. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
You still look great.
Thanks. I
Okay,
appreciate it. I got I'm
got
just
you.
gonna drink this truly to act like I'm still all, looking
I'm
normal.
gonna be honest, I wouldn't have even noticed if you didn't say something.
Well, shit. Well, too late now.
Um, yeah, but, I wasn't even really trying to be in a band. It was kind of a mistake. Um, a long time ago, I used to be a photographer. That was like my thing, as I love shooting shows.
Yeah,
I was not that good at it. Um, but I liked doing it and it was
yeah,
fun and it gave me an excuse to go to concerts and, etc. And I ended up going on tour with Mickett at one point. Um, and I just sang around him. And at that time, like I wasn't like I people told me I could sing. Like my nickname in high school was Pipes. So I was like, I knew I could sing. I just didn't really like I never thought like I would ever do anything with it or care to
that
do
had
anything
that
with
had
it.
nothing to do with weed. That was just all
I just missed it.
sorry, I had
I'm
to.
gonna
Sorry.
I'm gonna
Oh,
low
yeah,
key.
I should have given you the warning about, like, the bad dad jokes before we started the interview, like,
What did I say though?
because your nickname was Pipes.
Oh, I didn't get that one. You could have gone
Now I
like there's
now now I feel awkward because I had to explain it to you, and I just look like a
I
bigger
didn't
fucking dork, so,
usually I'm good at dad jokes too. That makes me upset.
I
I missed that one.
it's alright. It's alright.
Yeah. I fucking fucked that one up.
Anyways,
um
continue. So you saying Mickett is the guitar player of Rivals, right? For those of
yeah,
you that
yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
people
So in
watching that
case you
don't
didn't know.
know. Okay, yeah.
So I toured with his old band. They were called The Collected. And
Right.
he just had heard me sing at one point. And when I was 18, I went on this road trip with this absolutely awful of a human being. And I ended up having to fly home because that person went psychotic. And so I flew home. It was like a $1,500 flight because I bought it when I was at the airport.
Oh, Jesus.
I flew back and I was just like, I want to make music. I was like, I don't want to I want to like get this off my chest. And
Mhm.
so I like went and I made pop music for about 2 years. Did about 7 songs, 6 or
Oh,
7
cool.
songs.
Alright.
And then when I was like 20ish, almost 21,
Okay.
it was like 2021, Mickey was like, hey, I have this song. Like, it'd be really cool if you sang on this song. And I was like, all right. And I gave it a shot. And then now I'm here.
That's tight.
I'm in a,
That's tight.
I'm in a band.
There you go. You did
Who
it.
would have thought?
You did the damn thing.
Did it.
Well, awesome.
That's my whole
Well,
story.
that's it. Well, that's it. Yeah, no, I mean, I know. Well, you guys are working on a new record, which I know. Well, I don't. Who knows if music's coming out this year with this fucking Corona nonsense going on?
We are.
But
We're like literally in the process right now, like figuring out how to release it.
yeah, okay. Well, that's cool. So, I
So
mean,
yeah.
obviously, people can check that out. I already talked highly of you. I don't need to do that. Um, I mean,
I
what's
mean, I
like?
like it.
Yeah. What do you love about you know I feel like I've known you long enough that you have been able to like prove some people wrong. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of
Oh
stigma
yeah.
about like women in music and even just women in the music industry in general. And like you do graphic design. Like I know you've been expanding what you're doing because everybody has too much time right now. You know, you've been doing
Hmm.
like some really awesome like 3D visuals, which
Hmm.
I didn't even know you had the desire to fucking do that. And like the
I
shit I
didn't, and then I just did. This happened, and I was like, I'm gonna do it.
well, it looks great. I mean, like, how do you
Thank you.
like, you know, how is being a woman in the middle of all this? Because like, it doesn't matter that we're the most progressive country in the world. Like, it's still a man's industry in a lot of ways,
Oh
which
yeah,
you know me well enough to know that I think that that's fucking dog shit. But like,
yeah.
it is what it is. So like,
I
I mean,
will
how?
say the graphic design side of music is pretty even when it comes to men and women.
Okay.
I will say there's definitely more men, but I there's a few women I know
Yeah.
that are graphic designers that I love and respect, and but yeah, I mean the music side's a little different. I it's difficult because a lot of people have like immediately as a woman they're like, oh, she's gonna be a bitch or she's gonna be hard to work with.
Yeah.
Which I mean, you've worked with me.
Yeah.
It's true. I'm just kidding.
Well, I think everybody responds to things a certain way when shit doesn't go their way. Like it's not.
Well, yeah.
I
Everyone
mean,
has expectations.
yeah, there you go. And it's just like men might be a little bit more like macho about how they express them, or they might be a
And then
little
I
bit more
cry.
like violent. Yeah, like they might be a little bit more violent or like whatever. Like the thing is everybody responds differently. Like
Yeah.
I have worked with some men who I will not name on this stream. You and I can discuss it afterwards if you want. That behaved worse than you did when you're talking about the ways you know in which you behave.
Yeah.
Everybody's sorry for like the cloak and dagger if you haven't figured it out. Like I used to manage rivals.
Oh yeah.
I don't
We fire.
anymore. It's
I was
fucking well, you did fire
I
me. That's
love
not
you.
the point. That's
I
not the
love you.
point. I mean, I
To be
mean,
fair though, to be fair, I cried like a bitch doing
you
it.
did, you did,
So
you did, but not like a bad bitch, like a good bitch. No, I shouldn't say that
yeah,
on
like
camera. Whatever, whatever. But no, you know what I
I
mean.
don't
Like,
care.
but we're still everything is still fucking chill. Like that's the thing. As
Yeah.
long you know, it is
I
like
mean,
life.
that's how exiting working relationships should be. It should You
Exactly.
should be exiting them with a mutual respect in regards to the person. It shouldn't be negative. And if it is negative, that means has a type of ego or something,
Yeah,
or like
or the
there's really
relationship was never strong or
good to begin
trustworthy.
with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I was bummed when
Hmm.
that happened, but like, I mean, anyways, we're not here to talk about that. But yeah, so like, I used to manage rivals, so like, I've been around for a lot of what Kaylee's had to deal with, and I also
Hmm.
know her pretty well and how she responds to shit. But like, I was never once like. Even when you were like wilding out, I was never like she's being fucking psycho because
Yeah.
you're just driven. Like you have the same
Yeah.
passion the other bands I work with
Yeah.
do, all of which contain men. So,
Yeah.
or boys, I guess, depending on which band we're talking about. But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but I've worked with other women in the music industry, and like you are a ray of fucking sunshine compared to some of them. So, like, I'll
I've
give you
heard
that.
I've I've heard lots of stories, which is, as someone who see a big thing of like my attitude towards a lot of the ways I like perceive and I try to treat people is like I've heard and seen, the way that some women treat other people,
Yeah,
and like whether it's just like crew or whatever, and like I just like I want to be like that. Like I don't want to
yeah.
be mean to people. Like
You
I
want
just
to be
want to have a
part of
good fucking
you want
time.
to be part of the solution, not part of the problem.
Exactly. And I just want to have a good time. And then like being a bitch does nothing for me except making people not want to work with me.
Yeah,
So it's like
exactly.
what's the point? Plus I'm not like I tend to be I'm very bad at being mean. Like I can definitely be mean, but usually when I'm mean,
I would say you're bad at being mean.
I'm really bad at being mean.
Yeah, I
I don't
can.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like, I understand what you're saying. It bums me out because like when I started being a promoter, like I was just some fucking jerk off kid doing it for fun. You know what I mean? Like nobody,
Hmm.
the person that threw all the shows in my town stopped, and I was like,
Yeah.
the other promoter just did like hardcore.
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I was like, no one's doing like metal or metalcore.
Yeah.
Like, let's fucking go. You know what I mean? I had like, and every time I die, pardon me, I had an every time I die, or no,
The
and as I
pizza.
dying like track jacket, and like I had
Oh
like
yeah.
the little swoop hair. You know what I mean? Like I did it all. You know what I mean? And like,
Yeah.
I never wore the girl jeans though. I'm a voluptuous man, so that wouldn't have really worked for me. But like, you know what I mean? And then so I started meeting other promoters around like Northern
Mhm.
California, and I met a girl named Christina, who I wish I was still closer with. She's still one of my favorite people when I do see her. But
Mhm.
she used to book at a place called the Underground in Sacramento slash Roseville. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
like she was a chick, and like I don't know how many people were like, "Oh, yo, like fuck that girl," or like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she was." Had to book with her, and she was a bitch. And like that lady, like she taught me a lot. Like when I was ready to not just be the kid who was like, "Oh, I worked like a full time job. I lived at home. I had money.
Yeah.
That was when metalcore
Yeah.
was popping. So like, it was literally
Yeah.
impossible to lose money on a show." And like,
Mhm.
I was like, "Oh," when I started getting hit up for these, like, "Oh man, these shows cost like 2 grand. What the fuck am I gonna do?" Like, she
Mhm.
she gave me so much advice and she helped me out. And like, all I
Yeah.
ever heard was from her. I mean, like, and she showed me emails and shit of like just these dudes just clowning on her because she's a chick, or like, "Oh, like
Yeah.
I saw you at a bar making out with this dude, so like because of that, I'm not gonna respect you and work with you." It's like, dude, we're all still people. Like,
Yeah.
it's like man, woman,
Yeah. Yeah.
whether you're non-binary, don't identify, whatever. You know what I mean? We're
Mhm.
all still fucking people. So it's like,
Yeah.
and
Which,
like,
it's and I feel like sometimes it's like a cop out with dudes. It's like whenever something doesn't go exactly their way, it's like immediately, if especially if it's a woman, they're like, "Bitch, she's a bitch," and you're
yeah,
just like,
or
okay."
she's fucking crazy. She's just fucking crazy.
Yeah, or the crazy one. I love that one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, I mean, like, I feel like you've done a good job navigating your environment.
Try.
You know what I mean? And like, there's a lot of other
Mhm.
there's a lot of girls in bands these days that it's becoming way more prevalent. Um, and not necessarily anybody in any of like the hardcore bands, but like some of the other chicks that flirt in like the same music scene you do, like Zone. Like some of them, I'm
Mhm.
like, they're either so far up their own ass, or like they're rude,
Yeah.
or they just look stupid. Or it's like, one of the things I appreciate about you is that like when you feel like you look good, you don't have a problem putting it on the internet, but you're not like,
Yeah.
it's not like literally like here's a Twitter feed of you talking. It's not like, women are strong, like women are powerful. What I do is hard. I've curved a life, blah 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 blah. Oh, here's my ass. Talk to me. You know what I mean? Like you don't
Yeah.
do that. Like there's a lot of girls around
Hey,
nowadays
I
that
have
are,
my occasional thought photo, all right?
yeah, but everybody wants to feel good about themselves, man or
Well,
woman.
yeah,
You know,
I just think
but you're
it's
not like, I don't, what I mean. Like I mean, there's some people on Twitter that they're like, I work so hard, no one respects me, this, that, the other thing, and then it's like, I'm fucking naked, and it's not like I felt good
there's
today.
a
Like
lot of there's a lot of dudes who do that cry me a river thing too.
exactly,
I
and
don't
it's
like that.
like,
I think that's just an attitude in general, and it's like an attitude that I can't get behind. It's like if things aren't going your way, then figure out how to make them your way.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
would
It's
you
not hard.
figure and a lot of that comes down to like if things aren't going your way, it's usually because you're just not working hard enough. And like a lot of people use the woe is me, pun intended. Love that band.
I
Uh
was waiting for that. I was waiting for it.
woe is me attitude because it's just an easy cop out. It's like it didn't work for me, so fuck it and
Yeah,
fuck everybody. And it's just like that's not. It's like it's either you didn't work hard enough or you just it was wrong place, wrong time. It's like
yeah,
I really do think that the music industry is like 25%, or it's like 50-50. It's like 50% how hard you work and 50% just luck.
well,
So
yeah, luck slash who but yes, yeah, that
yeah, but you know what I mean. It's
yeah,
like
that falls in the
like
same category, unfortunately, in the music industry. So
yeah, because some people will see it as luck. They
yeah,
don't see the backside of it of like, oh well, this person knows this person who knows this person, and that's why they got that tour.
yeah, yeah,
I
like,
mean, and we're
or like,
guilty. We're guilty of that. That's how we got the jumpsuit tour.
yeah,
Like
no, it is.
it's like a lot of the tours we've gotten. It wasn't just like it was like because somebody knew somebody, and they just were like, okay, sure, we'll
Yeah,
take them.
or like, there's people that might not give your band a shot, and but then if they know you and they're like, okay, I'm gonna come watch you live, and they see you live, and you're like, damn, this band's fucking incredible. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like,
mhm,
so I
yeah,
know what you mean. Well, like, what are like, give me, we haven't gotten to like catch up like thoroughly in a while. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah.
you know, you say, like if there's any ladies checking this out, you know what I mean? Like what is like a big tip, or like what's the number one way you or thing you've done that you feel like is like, you know, not that you've had to overcome any adversity, but like you're definitely doing some decently unique stuff for being a female in music. Like what's like your number one piece of advice you would give?
Like as like me telling another woman.
Yes. Not telling me as a man. No.
um Man, that's a hard one. I mean, really just like stay humble. Like, and this applies to pretty much anybody, but just like stay humble. Like, and that was a big thing that we as a band kind of had to take a step back at one point, because like all of the tours we've had, we've been direct support, all of them. And then like last year, for the first time ever, we did that Tillian run and we opened it. And for us, that was really, really confusing.
Yeah.
Like, just because we just never did the opening thing. We just never really experienced that.
Yeah.
So for us, it was like, that was like a really big kind of like, what's that word? Like not like slap in the face, but like a reality check, I guess
Yeah.
is what like
and
like it made,
the veil got lifted.
yeah. And like we were confident at that point, like we were like, yeah, we got this,
Yeah, I remember.
and then
I remember when that offer
when
came in, and
we were upset. We were
well,
so upset.
thank God we were part of a team, because if that had just been you and me, we would have both just been like,
Yeah.
and like that never would have happened. But it ended up being
Yeah.
really good for you
It was,
guys. So I'm glad we
yeah, it was
did.
a great, yeah,
Yeah,
it was a really good tour. We had a really good time.
yeah,
We made a lot of really good friends, and it was like we had a really good time, and we're really glad we did the tour. But I will say it's weird. Like for us, it was so weird because we're so used to playing to like a full crowd,
hmm
whereas like opening, you played like a fourth or a
yeah.
half.
Well, and also like the crowd's already pumped up when you guys play normally. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Which you guys
So
are
that was,
a
yeah,
great band at doing that. But it is
yeah.
like I could see from like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a morale standpoint, how you like
Hmm.
you're like, oh man, like you know, we have to be the people to get the room moving, and it's like
Yeah.
almost like an extra layer of stress in your live show.
Yeah. And
And you're
on
playing
top,
for less people.
and we had already been on tour for like 7 weeks at that point when we started that tour.
Oh, that's right.
We were,
You
yeah,
rolled into it.
we
Yeah,
literally did the New Year's Day tour into those festival runs immediately into the Tillian run.
yeah, that's right.
So it was we were already so mentally just depleted and
Yeah,
physically, and then it was like, okay, now you're gonna go open a tour, and we were just like, for us, it was just like such a big reality check and like ego check, really, like because it was
yeah,
just like we aren't as cool as we think we are. We don't these like all these crowds are not here for us, they're here for other people.
yeah,
We might have a couple of people here, 30, 40 people here from us, but realistically, like this whole crowd, this 500 people, more than half of them don't even know who we are.
yeah,
And that was like a really big like reality check for a lot of us, because it was just so weird,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. I can understand that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So little one for you. Don't go backwards. Start opening.
there you go. Yeah, well, no, I mean, like,
Yeah.
and everybody that watches this knows I come from like the metalcore hardcore world. Like, remember it was like 7 years ago now they did that 10 for 10 tour, and it was like Poison the Well, and it's just like a bunch of up and
Oh,
coming hardcore bands, and I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and I literally was like, this is stupid, like because it's
Yeah.
such a great idea. Like, why don't more bands do this? But then you have like the conundrum of like, man, I wish like you remember like way back in the day the Trust Kill tours where it was like Bleeding Through Terror, you know,
Yeah.
BT Bam, and like it'd be like 5 bands all together. You couldn't have that tour now because maybe the bands not themselves, but like their team,
People just
everybody would be bickering about money instead of like
I
let's
know.
do a $10 ticket price, crush these shows with attendance, and we'll all
Yeah.
fucking make double what we normally make in merch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all bullshit. Like nobody wants to be okay doing that like step back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dude, like I can tell you, like there's like definitely been times where like we take a pay cut in order to get the merch money.
Yeah.
Because it's, yeah, we're only getting paid 100 or 200 or whatever for that show, for that tour, but we're making $1,000 a night in merch.
Yeah, yeah, and
So it's like,
you're also playing to like, hey, half the people in this room has
yeah,
never heard us. So like, if we may,
exactly.
even if you play to 300 people that have never heard you, and you make 30 fans, for
Yeah.
sure, like that just, and then it just keeps doubling and snowballing. You know?
Yeah. You know what's so funny is like when we first started touring, I was like, man, when we're making $1,000 a night in merch, we're gonna be killing it. We're gonna have so much money. We have no
Money?
money.
What's that?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know either.
So, because then it's you just I guess the reality hits of like now you have to pay booking, now you have to pay management, and the more money you make, the more money you pay them.
Yeah,
Merch costs. Now you're selling all that money in merch. You know, like literally per shirt, you're actually making 40% of that shirt you just sold to that kid.
yeah.
So you're making like $7, $8 a shirt or whatever, however much you charge. And like that's the reality. It's like there's a lot more stacks up, but it's like yes, you're making more money, but now you have more people to pay.
But you're also spending more, yeah. Or like then,
Mhm.
especially like I remember we dealt with it with you guys. You needed that whole new like in-ear rig and shit, and it was like
Oh, it was
there
a
was just
best
fucking like
investment.
I know, but you were like, there's like fucking whatever, however many couple grand that cost you right out the fucking window, and you were
Yeah,
like, we'll get everything paid, everything else is going to be covered, but we had to do this, and it's like,
yeah,
I get it, I
yeah.
fucking
And that's the other thing is like as you keep going, you're like, okay, well, in any you might start playing these venues that are not that great and have not very good monitors or no monitors. And
hmm
you're like, okay, well, I'm going to keep blowing my voice out if I keep doing this every single night.
yeah,
And Seb can't hear himself. He can't hear his bass. You know, Josh has no idea what's going on. Like, it just like,
yeah,
I, I mean, in general, Josh doesn't know what's going on.
yeah, but
You know, and it's just,
he's definitely the cute one in the band, so it's okay.
he's definitely the cute one. I love him.
Yeah,
But like really, like, it's like, having spending that 6 grand or whatever we spent. I don't remember. It was definitely a lot on
yeah,
that we literally spent more about the same amount we did on our van for an
yeah,
in-ear rig.
yeah,
um like that's like something that you just don't think about and you're like, oh, I don't need that. I don't need that. And then you tour for 3 months straight and then you realize, holy fuck, I kind of need that.
yeah.
Like, like it would really help. So yeah, I mean, the money side of music is an interesting.
hmm hmm
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I have
Oh
a
my
tell.
god, did I tell you we paid off Damsel?
Really.
It's done. We paid it off.
So for most
It's
people,
done.
for anybody that's curious, so like that's was Rival's first record on their current label,
Mhm,
and their second record would have been out already, but Corona. Um,
mhm,
but like for a band to pay off their first recording and like pay back the cost of recording, the cost of publication and PR and press and
marketing,
media,
yeah.
marketing and all that, like within the first 2 years, like that's
Videos.
yeah, like unless you're like a fucking hype band, like that's unheard of. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that's awesome. Good job,
Yeah.
Kaylee. Proud
Yeah.
of you.
Thank you. Yeah, I
Proud of
know.
you.
I
That's
just
so
got
good,
the
dude.
update from Smart Punk and I was like, oh, we did it.
That's
I'm so
fucking.
proud of
I'm
us.
sure. I'm sure Burns was happy. I love that guy. But
I know.
but okay. Well,
Mhm.
I have a hot question for you.
All right.
It's gonna be really awkward, and it might be hard for you to answer right away.
Okay.
Just let me complete the question before you freak out.
Okay.
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 So you and I have, a pretty unique situation with our history and whatnot, and like me
Mhm,
having you here is a unique opportunity. I'm big, like, a lot of people see my posts on positivity and this and that, my advice in the music industry. And like, some people just think I'm tooting my own horn, sitting on my own thumb, blowing smoke at people's ass, or they just like don't take it seriously. You know,
mhm.
I think, you already touched on it a little bit with the whole like, we had a good relationship. So when we separated our like business
Yeah.
on a business level, it was good. But like
Mhm.
you're in kind of the unique position where I can ask you like, do you think it made a big difference or a big help at first that like we were friends? Like, it wasn't like you found this person to add to your team and you became friends. Like we already kind of knew each other. You know what I mean? And I feel like the communication was a lot better right off the bat with
Yeah.
with you and Mickett and I, especially with you and me, because we knew each
Mhm,
other. We had mutual friends.
mhm,
Like I had so many people in my life that vouched for you, and I know you had at least a
mhm.
couple that vouched for me. You know,
Yeah.
like you know what I mean. So like, it's
Yeah.
like you know, I think it's like important to build trust and have a team, but it's also okay to like, you know, if the situation is boundaried well, you know, work with
Mhm.
friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Is that the question?
Yeah. Like, you
Okay.
know, like that, like, is that the question? And then like, you know, what are your thoughts on like, you know, having people on your team that like, you know, like, because I mean, like we all know,
Yeah.
everyone knows it was when people are like,
Okay.
you manage rivals. It's fucking weird because I do like fucking, you know,
Yeah.
like
Heavy
pre-breed
stuff.
deathcore bands, and then like
Yeah.
I had you guys.
Yeah. So for our mentality when we first started this was we wanted somebody who could focus on us in general. Like
Hmm.
we wanted somebody who doesn't have the same 17 bands. We wanted somebody who like we didn't make sense
Yeah,
with because we'd probably get a little bit more attention because it's a little bit different, you
correct.
know? I will also say that it's like I'm so 50-50 on, well, okay, so I have different experiences. Like you and I were already friends. So that's why it was easy. I
Yes.
didn't know Tanner, who's our booking agent. I didn't know Tanner until we had met. And now Tanner's one of my best friends. I
Yeah.
talk to Tanner literally all the time, like weekly. So
Tanner's
it's
not
like,
gonna watch this, but you're welcome, Tanner.
like literally weekly. So like
Yeah.
I've seen both sides of it. And like, but I've also like, I will say hiring somebody that's your friend, it's a lot harder to fire them.
I wasn't trying to have you bring that up. You brought that up
And
right
you will cry like a bitch. For those who don't know, I cried so much. Literally, I walked back in and Mickey's like, "Are you okay?" And my makeup was like down my face. I was like,
I know. I was like, I didn't know what to say when we got off the phone because, like, I was just more upset at how upset you were than anything else. You know what I mean?
it's because it hurt. I was
That's
like, I
really what it
didn't
was.
want.
I was like,
Uh,
I wasn't even like, like, I mean, I was obviously bummed it happened,
yeah.
and like, it was kind of out of nowhere. So I was like, in my head, I was like, what the fuck? But then I was more just like, I don't. That like upsets me that Kaylee's not upset. Like,
I was so upset. I like really didn't. I tried to pawn it off on Mickey, but then I was like, no, I can't do that to Joel. Like Joel's my fucking buddy. I can't like. So, but anyways, that's
I
beyond the point.
probably would have like reached through the phone and snapped Mick in half. Like,
But like,
but
I mean, it's hard because I've seen both sides. But I've
yeah,
also, we've worked with people in the past where it's like I was not their friend, and we did not end as friends either.
yeah,
And that happens. I think a lot of it has to, and I've also had people who I'm not really great friends with, but they did great work for us. So it's I can't
fair.
fight that. Like I
Yeah.
won't stay. I'm not mad at you. I'm not upset about anything. But like things go the way they go, and there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
Like sometimes things like music is like so much about change,
Yeah.
and like
We have to be able
sometimes like
be able to,
you
like,
need that.
adapt and, you know,
Yeah,
between, like, just Facebook algorithm alone, but then, like, on
yeah,
top of that, it's, like, how you market, you know, PR at the beginning of this year. I mean, so many places closed up shop and we're just like, "Dude, like, every website
dude.
ever is all just they just want clicks." So,
Yeah.
it used to be, like, you could call in a favor and, like, they would help you grow a band together, and most fucking places don't give a fuck anymore. Like, so I like,
No, they're like, give me money.
yeah, everything's just changing, you know, and, like,
Yeah.
so it sucks, but
Not to call out I'm not going to say the publication's name, but I will say that I was one of the publications that ran something on us. I was really disappointed when I found out that like we had to pay them all this money to do that.
yeah,
And like it's not about like exposing bands anymore, and it's not about like, and like that's the one thing like I give so much respect to like Allison at Spotify. It's like she doesn't care. Like she just wants like if a band's good, she's going to put them there.
yeah, exactly.
And that's like that's why I have so much respect for her, because
Yeah,
it's like she sits there and she goes through these songs and she's like, okay, cool, this will make sense here, this will make sense here, and you don't have to pay them for that.
yeah,
And like I have so much respect for that, but I also have
yeah.
to understand that some of these publications, like media is not how it used to be,
No,
and
it's
like a lot of these publications are holding on by a thread.
not. Yeah,
They're barely even open, so it's like
yeah,
on the other side, I saw it like that. But I was like, from like, a young me, I was like, oh my God, like I thought it was like so authentic, and it's like was not. It's not.
Yeah.
A lot of them are. It's not. It's like it all comes down to money,
Yeah.
which I get that. There's like no money in music, so everyone's gripping at what little they can get.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny. Like I had a friend who texted me the other day about this whole fucking Joe Rogan getting that $100 million deal with Spotify, right?
Hmm.
And they're like, "Oh, that's going to change the face of everything." And I was like, "But is it?"
I don't think so.
Like, yeah, maybe for the
Spotify is
podcast
really good
world.
at keeping the integrity of things.
Well, they keep the integrity, but like, I mean, like, let's be honest. Like, I mean, in my opinion, you don't have to answer it because you're an artist. I understand. Like Spotify for how much money that company generates, the way they pay out is dog shit. And like,
Well,
I,
yeah. How come
I'm
they're
not a
giving Joe Rogan $100 million, but I can't get more than an seven a hundredth of a penny on
yeah,
a stream?
exactly. Well, and like that's my thing. You know what I mean? Like, and then like, was it last? I think it was last year. No, it was 2 years ago. Like,
Yeah.
Trump, not my favorite person in the world, by the way, but he did sign that bill altering music payouts, and Spotify, and only Spotify and
They
one other
sued.
company
They
countersued
sued
the
him.
fucking federal government.
It,
We're gonna
it
pay all this
was.
that much? What?
It wasn't. I know it wasn't Apple Music, and it
No,
wasn't Tidal.
I, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't those two. I forget who the fuck. Maybe
YouTube,
no, I think it was Amazon.
Amazon. Which, like, come on, Amazon, bro. You guys make so literally, motherfuckers worth almost $1 trillion.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos is
You
crazy.
can't pay artists better.
Yeah. But yeah, and I mean that lawsuit is still like going on. Like Spotify, that's why there's been no increase in what you get paid. But they can turn around and give Joe Rogan, a fucking
$200 million.
yeah, like
Fuck
so
you.
it's like, but and it also the way their infrastructure works. Like Allison does a great job, but like
She's great.
that I do a lot of stuff in metal, and it's like there
Yeah.
was like a period of time where it was like there was like four people that had to sift through every metal song. Four.
Mhm.
And metal is the number one listen. Like it's the most. It has the most comeback listeners on Spotify. Like
Yeah.
it's the most consistent fan base on Spotify.
Yeah. Like, okay, there's like a lot of like indie rock and like even like pop and rap where it's like they have a whole bunch
Yeah,
of like monthly Spotify listeners, but and we only have anywhere from 50 to 70 depending on when it is or what's going on.
yeah,
And like we have as many streams as some of these artists who have 500,000, like pop or indie artists or whoever.
yeah,
And that blows my mind, and that's because people in rock, they don't just listen to it once or twice. They'll listen to an
yeah,
album 100
yeah.
fucking
Oh,
times.
yeah, and like they're not there just for
And
you.
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that.
Or it's like like a lot of like hip hop people or like
Mhm.
rap and like some of the mainstream stuff too. Like I go and I just listen to the one or two songs and that's it. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah,
and then
same.
I'm
I don't
fucking out.
listen like because like how I listen to music, like when I'm like listening to an album, I listen to every single song, and if a song I don't like the song within the first 30 seconds, I delete it off I just delete it. And then like a lot of my like albums are like 6 songs rather than 12 or
Yeah.
10
Well,
or
I mean,
whatever. And it's just because like if I don't like it, I'm not gonna fucking listen to it.
yeah, fair. Well, and there's every album has those like it's
Yeah.
very rare to find an album that front to back you're not like, okay, this one's boring or this one's not as good
Mhm.
as the rest. Like
Yeah.
I mean, it does happen, but
Most Paramore records, so good, front to back, all of
I
them.
mean, yeah,
Can't
I
fucking
listened to the first few songs of first solo stuff the other day. It wasn't what I expected, but it wasn't bad.
No, I definitely not my style of music, but I
Exactly.
have definitely danced in my room or in here, I guess this is my living room, in my underwear to Cinnamon. So
Fair, fair. Yeah, I mean, like it like came out and it popped up on my thing. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
And I put it on the car when Trina and I were, just out running errands, wearing our fucking stupid
mhm.
masks, doing all that nonsense. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? And like we got through a couple songs and we were like, not what we expected, but it's good. Like
it's
props to
good.
her.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
just give us another Paramore record already for fuck's sake. But hey, what
yeah.
do I
I
know?
don't think we're not getting one of those for a while.
I know.
I can tell you that.
I know. Okay, well, we have gone on for a little bit now. We've covered way more things than I expected us to. So I really appreciate that. So I have a couple generic things for you.
Get
What
it?
is your favorite color?
Orange
Okay. Favorite food?
dumplings.
Ooh, I did not know that about you.
I love dumplings.
Interesting. Okay.
Love them.
Okay. Fair. What is like if you have like a new band or specifically a new album from somebody that you're like you just can't stop spinning right now? What is it? Doesn't matter if
Oh,
it's big or little. Doesn't matter.
Alina Alina Baraz.
Okay.
She's like an R&B
Cool.
artist.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah. I've heard the name.
phenomenal. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Last question, and this is always
Okay.
the one I enjoy the most asking.
Okay.
Okay. So we all have a quality in ourselves that we feel like people don't acknowledge or don't see like right off the bat. Like for example, like that's why I do this show or this vlog or whatever I shouldn't call it a show. That's weird. But like that's why I do this because people like you're one of the few people that I work with where we've hung out. About my
Yeah.
life. Like,
Yeah.
but people either get like let's fucking go like nerdy party Joel with his shitty dad jokes, or they get like pinup Joel like just business. You know
Yeah.
what I? You know what I'm saying?
Y-
You
Your
know what I
double side.
Yeah, and it's like it's one or the other, but like I'm a mix of the two, first off, but
Mhm.
also like, I'm a good listener, like I love to read. Like there's a lot of things about me that like people I don't think people realize right off the bat. And like
Mhm.
we all have that quality. So like, especially with you being someone in music, you know what I mean? Like it's even harder for some people to approach you just because that's just how it works. So like what is
Mhm.
something that you wished like your fans or maybe even people in the industry or shit, maybe even me, like is there like a quality that you wish more people knew about you or like, a habit or like something that means a lot to you that you're not very like out in the open about?
I'm like really an open, I'm a very open book.
Hmm.
Like I don't know, I like talk about everything in my life. I play a lot of video games. Uh I guess this is something I love cooking. I love
Oh,
cooking.
see, I didn't
Not
know
a
that
lot
about you.
Yeah, not a lot of people know that one. I love cooking. I
Okay.
love it. Um it's so much fun. Like literally I cook 3 meals a day from scratch. I love it.
See, I literally had no clue about you.
Yeah.
You should do a start a Twitch channel that's you cooking.
Cooking show, I
Make
know.
some
I
no, there's
should.
there's some people that have been discussing and trying to do that, and I mean, I think
That'd be so
you
that'd be
can make some
cool. So,
might work. You never know. You never know.
mm,
Um,
I'm trying to think of like anything else. I love flowers. I always buy like fresh flowers constantly.
yeah, I remember when we started talking
Um,
about doing some art stuff for you guys when I was still working with you, and you like
mm,
fucking geeked out over some flowers.
flowers. Well, I mean, I guess you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna say it. Most of the record, and that's okay. Most of the record is based around flowers,
Yeah,
and then almost like, and we finished this record in like October or like no, fuck, June. I don't know.
yeah,
It's been done forever. And then Haley Williams came out with her thing, Petals of Armor, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, the coincidence. Like
yeah,
literally, like every song has not every song, but most of the
yeah,
songs have
yeah,
some reference to flower or flowers or
yeah,
foliage.
yeah.
So I was like, dang, what a coincidence of that. That's so weird.
I dig it.
Um, I know. I'm trying to think of what else.
No,
Everybody knows about my Yeti.
yeah,
I
I mean,
literally this has been around the country world. This has been on a boat to Mexico.
well, look at
I
that.
don't know. I'm pretty. I guess just the
You
cooking.
you technically already answered the question. You know what I mean? So like,
Cooking.
okay. Well, you know what, Kaylee? Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. I'm glad we kind of got like a little bit of like unofficial catch up time while doing this. So it's
I
nice. It was
know.
sick. It
I
was sick.
know.
I dig it. I dig it.
I know. I feel like I haven't talked to you in like forever. We
I
used
mean,
to
like we've
talk
been
like
texting,
every
but like maybe
day.
yeah, but maybe we just
Yeah.
haven't like been on the phone in a while. I think is what it is. Which
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there is a difference of the two. So I get that. I respect. I
Oh
respect.
yeah. Definitely. I
Um,
prefer phone calls.
I'm
I'm
old
one of
school
those
like that
weird
too.
people.
I
I
yeah.
know. I'm one of those weird
Yes.
people who loves phone calls.
Yes. Okay. Well, we're gonna get ready to wrap up. I know
Okay.
you asked me if you could ask me a question when I asked you to do this. Have you come up with a question to ask me, or have you just been too enamored with our conversation?
Okay, where did Cupcake come from?
Oh, okay. So I actually have an episode where I explain
Oh,
that, but that's fine. The solo episodes where it's just me, a lot less
yeah.
people watch those, which is fine. I don't care. Um, so I used to tour with that band, Arsonist Got All the Girls, like way back in the
Uh,
day.
yeah.
I actually went to high school with a few of them, and we grew up in the same town, all that shit.
Yeah.
We were on tour somewhere. My snack for like one or two for a couple tours with them was always the 2-pack of Hostess cupcakes. Which side note for everybody watching, put those in the freezer and then eat them. You'll
Oh,
thank me later.
do,
Yes, exactly.
do the same thing with Reese's.
Oh, girl, I already do that. But yes, yes, also good. The other thing that's great right out of the freezer, Uncrustables. Don't ever put them in the fridge. Leave them in the
So
freezer.
true.
Pop them in the toaster. You get the fucking crispy warm outside, and you get like
Mhm.
the ice cream sandwich on the inside. Anyways, um,
Love it.
the Joel Cupcake thing. So like that was my snack. Was like the little 2-pack of Hostess cupcakes. And we
Mm.
pull over. We go to fucking like Lucky's or some fucking jerk off grocery store. Like 3 in the fucking morning, right?
Yeah.
We're walking, like there, a couple of us went in, a couple of the dudes stayed sleeping. But we were like, this is like this like very beginning of the band. Like we were in 2 cars doing the tour,
Mhm.
and
Oh
so
my gosh.
I
I've done
don't.
those.
Yeah, I didn't play music or anything. I was just like, I just rode with them, helped them unload, like sold merch, whatever. Like they
Yeah.
were literally just like my best friends. You know what I mean? And,
You're our Spencer.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Love
Mhm.
that guy, by the way. But yeah,
Love Spencer.
so Pat, the old bass player who passed away, rest in
Mhm.
peace.
Yeah.
We're in whatever gas station, or no, we were in a supermarket. I just don't remember what it was. And it's 3 in the morning, like, and you know how guys are, especially with each other. They're just always like jabbing each other. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Top of
We're
his
the same
lungs.
way.
I know. So top of his lungs, Pat goes, "Hey, you fat fuck, come over here. I found you some cupcakes." And so and we're like 4 or 5 aisles apart. And like
Oh my god.
I used to be a very, very large man. Like I was like, I mean, I'm still like overweight, but like
I was gonna say
I've
you're
been doing.
really tall though.
Oh yeah, but no, but it was like bad. Like it used to be like.
Oh, okay.
Anyways,
I,
so he
I
had.
not know that.
Yeah, so he's like, "Hey, you fat fuck! Like, I found your cupcakes. Come over here." And keep in mind, like, it's late. It's like 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
either at that point in my life, I was either drunk, or
Yeah.
I had like somebody had just woken me up in the car to come into the supermarket, which means I'm like
Yeah.
testy. You know what I mean? So he says that to me, and I walk over there, and he like I walk come around the aisle, and he throws them at me, like literally just down the aisle, hits me
Yeah.
in the chest, and I lay it in my hand, and it's a pack of mini Little Debbie cupcakes. And I
Well, that's
fucking
kind of
look at
tight.
him. I look at him and I go, "What the fuck is this shit? Little Debbie's a fucking whore. Where the fuck are my hostess?" And I threw him on the ground. And I literally just smushed him with my foot. And he was like, Pat was a connoisseur of the marijuana, and he
Mhm.
thought that was the goddamn funniest thing I had ever done. And he was like, you know what? You're Tubby and you like cupcakes. I'm gonna call you Cupcake from now on. And so like even like to this day, if I go back to Santa Cruz, my hometown, like I'll be downtown with
Uh-huh.
Trina, like we'll just be walking around shopping, and she'll
Yeah.
hey Cuppy, what's up? You know what I mean? Like that's
Great.
and it just stuck. And like there was like Arsonist was the first band from like my generation that broke out. Like there was a couple of bands from Santa Cruz that had broken out from the generation prior, but they were like the
Mhm.
first one. And then so like on their first record, they wrote a song. So like Pat was like, they wanted to do a song. Basically, it was about like 2 titans fighting, but like
Mhm.
that was when like everybody was getting that was right after the generation of everybody using movie clips. So it was like
Yeah. Yeah.
no matter what you did, you got fined or slapped with a cease and desist or whatever. So
Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
like, we can't call it like Clash of the Titans because it's a fucking movie. Like there was
Yeah.
all this stuff. You know what I mean? Um, so they were like, let's just fucking make this funny. Who are the 2 like funniest, like big, like hardy dudes we know? Well, I was one of them, and the other guy was
Mhm.
our friend named Robert Scobie, who we all called.
Mhm.
He was a drummer, and he like was fucking really sharp with his hits,
Y-
so everybody
Yeah.
called him Scobra the Cobra. So
Okay.
they wrote a song instead of using like like a Clash of Titans or whatever. They literally called the
Mhm.
song Scobra versus Cupcake Battle of the Bulge.
Okay.
And it was like I mean, they were one of those bands like they're like they're like Horse the band. They have fucking
Mhm.
keyboards. They have 12,000 members. Like
Yeah.
they're that type of just over the top MySpace metalcore band. And so like they were like, we don't fucking care. We're just gonna actually call the song that because it's fucking funny. And so like
Yeah.
I've been stuck with that nickname ever since. It's which I don't mind.
So.
I'm 30. I'm turning 34 at the end of the month. Um,
Oh.
I know some people think it's weird I still go by that, but you know what? Pat gave that to me. You know, he died on his 21st birthday, and so like
Yeah.
that's kind of like my way of like I'll never stop honoring that. Plus, I mean,
Yeah.
most people don't even know that story or don't remember it anymore, and I think it's fucking hilarious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
especially like everyone always cracks up at the like calling little Debbie a slut line. You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
so great.
yeah, and you know me well enough, especially when I'm like, you know, a little intoxicated. Like, you know that that's fucking perfect me thing to say. So
Yes, it is.
yes,
Absolutely.
uh, um, yes. Okay. Well, that was your question. You used it
That was
wisely.
it.
I approve. So
It
thank you.
was I was curious. I didn't know. I've always wondered where it came from. So
That's right. Well, Kaylee, thanks for joining me. Everybody else, thanks for checking us out. This is Kaylee from
thank
Rivals.
you.
You can check out their latest EP was called Supernova. The album before that was called Damn Soul. It's like I mean, dark pop is the appropriate term. You know, it has a little bit of alt rock, has a little bit of something for everybody in there. You'll dig it. Check it out. Kaylee's great. Kaylee also does graphic design for
I
a
do.
living. That's how she supports herself, especially because nobody can fucking tour right now. Um, so, Kaylee, where can everybody find you on the internet? Your companies, your band, you.
Yeah. So my all my band's tags are we are RVLS. It's just rivals without the vowels. And then my personal art page and stuff is Ridgeline Media CA. I think about yeah, CA.
Oh yeah, with the CA at the end. The link will be in the bio after it down there. So after you scroll down and click subscribe, you can scroll down even more and follow Kaylee
Wait,
everywhere.
it'll be over there.
It'll be. Oh yeah. Oh shit, you're right. I did.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
it's
right.
in the
You're right.
corner that way.
I'm
It's
literally
over
like
there.
every other episode. I'm like, yeah, you can click that link up there. Oh shit, that one. Like I do it all the time. So it's like I'm fucking trying to land a plane or something. Like,
Right.
oh my god. Oh, amazing. Well, excellent. Kaylee,
Uh,
thank you for being on the show. Everybody, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Please support Rivals. Please follow Kaylee on the internet. She's fucking hilarious. She's an open book, always willing to talk to people as well. Okay, she's not
very
that
true.
funny. I'm way more fucking funny, but that's not the
You're
point.
way
Uh,
funnier than me, but we
yeah,
both appreciate dad jokes.
we do,
So
which I think is why we worked together well for so long because it was like I could just say the dumbest thing, and the rest of your band would be like, and you're
yeah, and
sitting there
I
just
would
busting out
crack.
laughing. Yeah, exactly. So,
Love it.
okay,
All right. Well,
well,
thank you. This was fun.
everybody, this has been another episode of Joel Cupcake Unedited. Thanks, Kaylee. Thanks, everyone. Signing off. Have a great day. Live long and prosper.